Oh, Lord. It's early in the morning. Did a radio show last night. Still got to get up and do that edit. We had that September deadline, and I am unwilling to relinquish it there. I got plans, man. I'm gonna be busy all September. I want to have this first book done. Live, edit, stream. All right, so hopefully we're on the right profile and everything. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what that Twitch thing does. Saturday co-working and writing scream with Cheshire Pope. I don't think I'm going to join his stream. But it's good that he's got something going. Hey, shout out to anybody out here working early in the morning. But I'm going to do my thing. What else we got here? Let me pump it in. Not math. I really just do LRH and not math at this point. I guess I'll do my own Discord. Let me see there. I have some ideas to... Oh, somebody missed the show last night. They didn't miss much, honestly. There were no cool calls. We did have a reconciliation of Web Wizard and Jira. That was very heartwarming. But, all right. Yeah. Let's put it in firm chats, too. Fuck it. One of those nerds can come here and take a gander. Yeah, hopefully, luckily, like on Saturday mornings, it's usually just me doing this, which is good because I'm so grumpy from lack of sleep. Generally, I go to bed. I try to go to bed at like 4 o'clock on a Friday, sleep for 4 or 5 hours, and then do the show. And then, because I know I'm going to get like 2 or 3 hours after the show. And so I think I got to bed at like 1:40 or something like that. Woke up at 6 a.m. on the dot, like, oh. That's the sound I make. And, this is the life. Like, if you want to do this thing, you got to get through all the hoops and what have you. All right, let's see what notes I left myself. Okay, so I think this is a chapter is a good. Let's see. And it's 8 pages long. 8 pages is, honestly, even if I think it's good, it could use a little trimming. I notice also that Rigel does a lot more of this in italics, fucking, what would you call it exactly? Character internalization. Every sentence is in their voice, so thought tags aren't needed, but they can be used. Internalizations are italicized only with a tense change. Huh. Well, this is from jamiegold.com, so I don't know if this character is true or false. So first person POV. Only the viewpoint character may share their internal thoughts with the reader. No thought tags are used to avoid distancing the reader. Limited, shallow. Huh. Yeah, as interesting as the... Alright, so... This is not terrible, even if they stole this from somewhere else. The covers are bad, though. Jesus. Look at this. This person sells so many more books than I ever will, though. Interesting, the like use of... oh, shit. What's up, Jordan O? We're thinking about tenses here. So, I guess internalization is a decent word for this. Okay, cool. Oh, I'm dying. Seasons change and so do I. Sneezing every day. So stupid. All right, Jordan. No, this is like the most anime thing that I've written. So You with your degenerate Japano pornography cartoons, you can relate to a lot of this. It has like a lot of the tropes going on. Oh wait, who's this fucking idiot in LRH? Is that Tron? See, I'm always vigilant for these cocksuckers. Yeah, that's Tron. I'm gonna come after that motherfucker for spamming old LRH. You better believe it. He thinks he's safe out there in fucking Saipan, but he's not. Not in the fucking slightest. Ooh. God, it's gonna be fucking dope. Alright, well. Anyhow, yeah, and we're getting towards the point where I could actually go and do that. Alright. Let's see. Ex-boner is drunk again. Stratum is already awake. Stratum says, guy who is mad about Hunter Biden's laptop. Gonna go flood IRC right now. Fucking shit. Oh. All right. What do we got here? Let me pay attention to the chat. Writing a light novel? Yeah, what makes a novel a light novel, right? Is it just like lighthearted? Is it episodic? All right, I want to know. You can tell I'm already distracted. A light novel is a style of young adult fiction primarily targeting high school and okay. Wasai yago, Japanese term formed from words in the English language. Ranobe, about 50,000 words. Dense publishing schedules with new installments being common in 3 to 9 month intervals. Well, that is kind of what we're planning to do here. Commonly illustrated in a manga style. Okay, so they develop from pulp. And then, like a lot of isekai fantasy, which I think isekai was Portal fantasy, right? Yeah, Second World fantasy. Okay. Plots are romantic comedy and fantasy, putting illustrations at the beginning of each story, and then it just turned into manga. Like they slowly like dumbed themselves down to where they weren't writing anymore. They were just making cartoons. Okay. I can see that happening. Yeah, like so. I'm absolutely with the serialization of RAPAXORIS. We're going to try to I would love to find a decent artist to work with, but they need more money than I have, right? Like my projects don't make any fucking money. So yeah, I think we brought it up here on the editing stream at one point. I have to tell you, Jordan, no, those cartoons will destroy your life, man. Like they prey on your emotions and give you like a false sense of accomplishment or belonging or whatever. And like while you're reading them, like you're not accomplishing the things that you need to. It's pure escapism. But I mean, what is this? You know, I'm not out there like hoeing a row or planting wheat or anything like that or planting seeds. I'm writing like just another escapist fantasy myself. At page 15 of 1,000. But I do think that there's something damaging specifically about anime and their kind of like transparent manipulation of emotions and tropes that is especially damaging to shut-in men. So anime is a mistake. It's not just a joke to lol at, but it really is a fucking terrible blight that the Japanese have unleashed upon the world. I really think it's their Hiroshima, and it's probably destroyed more lives than a couple of puny bombs ever could. So that's the real Oppenheimer. All right. Let me get to work. Lord have mercy. All right. Well, if you have never been to one of these editing streams before, I will make it short and sweet. Essentially, we are editing a novel about a series of adventurers. I think there are 4 in one party, 2 in another, and then some others will join up, who are entering the RAPAXORIS, a legendary dungeon full of interdimensional portals and strange monsters and devils cutting deals, and it's a good time. This is classic fantasy. It's not. I wouldn't really call it epic fantasy. And I wouldn't call it like low fantasy either. It's like about middle of the road type fantasy. I would put this, or at least it's trying to be in the same like grimness level as Felix and Gortux, directly inspired by Death Trap Dungeon, and it's written by me. I have a bunch of other books. You can see them up on the screen right there. You can find them for free. If there's anything you want to check out, obviously, I'll just give you a copy of it. I don't give a shit about money at this point. I really don't. I've never liked making money. I'm happy just languishing in obscurity. All right. So let's get to it. The method that we do is I'm going to read each line aloud, and we're going to look for lines that sound bullshit. If something strikes you as stupid or clunky, or if you have a suggestion for a better thing, you can feel free to put it in the chat. I will accept some suggestions and internally laugh at others. And then at the end of it, I give points to people based on their contributions. Everybody who contributes will find their way into the finished book, and whoever contributes the most, just in my judgment, I will send them a fancy hat, and they will be dubbed the Edit Ace for that particular edit. All right, with that, let's get down to it. All right, so this is RAPAXORIS by Zach ZYZ, chapter 1.4, and this is a Rigel chapter. All right, so as we're doing this, let's go ahead and slug these over. Let's see. I'm just doing this to keep in mind which No, that's not what I wanted to do at all. I wanted to slug this over. It's kind of useless to do this, honestly, because I'm going to have to redo all the italicizing. What am I drinking? I have a mango La Croix. And I fucked up and made a dark roast of coffee. Dark roast of coffee. I can't even talk right. I fucked up and made 3 liters of a dark roast of coffee, and now that I'm drinking it, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't like dark roast. It's not as good as the light roast. Maybe my body's like, there's not as much caffeine as we could get from the other kind. You fucked up. But whatever the case, I am drinking it. I have 3 liters of it, and I'm not the type to pour out coffee. So I'm just wondering, like, maybe I'll get used to it, you know? Yeah, it's not good, man. I might wind up. Yeah. I like. I usually go for. There's a lot of Guatemalan coffee. Usually, I go for like a medium or a lighter roast. I'll say like one thing. Add some Kahlua to it. No, I gotta keep a clear mind. One thing I will say for like this dark roast is it's so much oilier that like it slides right out of. Like I use like a drip tower. And so cleanup is a fucking breeze. You know, it's very easy to clean up this coffee. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll freeze it into cubes or something. God, that would fuck me up if I had, like, frozen coffee ice cubes. I'm just going to drink through it. And maybe I can learn myself to like this dark coffee. Or maybe suffering will build character. All right, let's get down to it. Just one more block. Then you can rest. At every intersection, Rigel made the same empty promise. At the end of every block, he broke it. The lies kept him going. If he stopped moving, he would die. All right, let's examine this more in depth. Just one more block, then you can rest. This doesn't flow. All right, so all right, yeah, I don't think we need there. At every so this actually this could be the start of our story, by the way, because it really directly. Even though the language is not perfect at the moment, it really just directly drops the reader into, oh shit, what's happening to this guy? Just one more block, then you can rest. At every intersection, Rigel made the same empty promise. At the end of every block, he broke it. Yeah, I wonder. Just one more street, then you can rest. All right, cool. So I think I don't like the rep. Just one more street. Then you can rest. At every intersection, Rigel made the same empty promise. At the end of every block, he broke it. The lies kept him going. If he stopped moving... That's why. If Rigel stopped moving, he would die. One more block. Rigel was too exhausted to run. All he could manage was a squelching half-jog, head lowered against the relentless... Okay. So this is... Here we slip into... All right. Well, let's remember the name. Yeah. Progressive verbs, auxiliary verbs, infinitives, past participle. Okay, so it's present participle. That's what was fucking me up there. Okay. So here, squelching half jog is not a tense thing. Squelching is an adjective describing the half jog, and it's a little clunky. Rigel was too exhausted to run. All he could manage was a squelching half jog, head lowered against the relentless rain. Okay, it's a little ornate, but I think it's a little evocative. So let's keep going. The storm had overflowed every cistern in the city. Okay, and here we're going for the we're starting to get into some of the alliteration. Head lowered against the relentless rain. The storm had overflowed every cistern in the city. Sheets of water cascaded over eaves, alleys flooded waist deep, and avenues churned into a gray soup of dead rats and dung. Okay. I think sheets of water is out of place here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's... let's see. Oh man, I'm way too distracted to edit in the morning. All right, well, we'll do a light edit on this one then, because it's not... All he could manage was a squelching slog jog, head lowered against the relentless... I'm going to keep that in. I just like slog jog. Wait, did we say slog above? Yeah. Head lowered against the relentless rain. The storm had overflowed every cistern in the city. Sheets of water cascaded over eaves, alleys flooded waist deep, and avenues churned into a gray soup of dead rats and dung. It was a perfect night to disappear. The downpour erased the footprints. The downpour erased the footprints Rigel left in the muck and swirled away the blood that trailed from his shoulder. The high-born homes he passed were locked up tight, with doors barred and shutters drawn. Their watchmen had retired. There was no one left to question why an urchin lurched through the street with a dagger shucking... Okay. There was no one left to question why... Let's try that. There was no one left to question why a bloody urchin lurched through the street. There was no one left to question why a bloody urchin lurched by. Yeah, lurch by is not good. I do kind of like with the dagger in his shoulder, but... Okay. Let's see if we even need... no, I just did... I think I'm taking your suggestion there. There was no one left to question why a bloody urchin lurched past with the dagger in his arm. I like bloody urchin lurched. There was no one left to question why a bloody urchin lurched along. Oh. Yeah, it's like a lot of syllables we're trying to fit into this thing. There was no one left to question why some bloody urchin lurched along with a dagger stuck in his arm. Rigel wound the magic board. Yeah, this is gonna require like a little. Let's try it without stuck. There was no one left to question why some bloody urchin lurched along with a dagger in his arm. With a dagger stuck in his arm. I think you need reading at least. It sounds a little better with the word stuck because it gives you a point to like rest your cadence, but that may not matter. I don't know why we're stuck on that sentence so hard. There was no one left to question why some bloody urchin lurched along with the dagger stuck in his arm. I do like stuck better. Rigel had wound the magic orb in a rag and stuffed it in his pocket to hide the cerulean light. Okay, cool. It was the darkest part of the night. Rigel had wound the It was the darkest part of the night. Rigel wound the Stolen. Rigel wound the stolen orb in a rag and stuffed it in his pocket to hide the cerulean light. It was all going according to plan, if only he weren't about to die. Cerulean is no, the entire... We use cerulean 100 times in this book. It's just, we're doing it. And I disagree that it's a once a novel thing. It is a very specific tenor and quality of light that I am okay associating with a magic orb. Yeah, like I think once you establish a color, you're not stuck on it. -1, you're against it. All right, let's find... 17 instances within the book. So that's 17 -1s so far. And I'm adding more. Yeah, let's just try Arcane. 10-4. Let's see. I'll be there. Or will I be there? I'll see. Let's see. Go to bed, Sid. It's early. It was the darkest part of the night. Rigel wound the stolen orb in a rag and stuffed it in his pocket to hide the arcane light. It was all going according to plan, if only he weren't about to die. We could swap this to, like, if only he weren't, If only he wasn't. Uh, so let's. It was all going according to plan, except the part where he was about to die. Clunky. But if only he weren't about to die. Uh, yeah, I think it's best as is. I don't like any of the alternatives there. Rigel was in terrible shape. Blood died. Blood dyed his sleeve pink. His collar was burned through, and the skin beneath was blackened and inflamed. The dagger in his shoulder shrieked with every step, but he didn't dare pull it out. Oh, so we can't say it shrieked with every step because the reader gets the idea that yeah. All right. And so we may be just piling on, like his misery right here. We have. Rigel was in terrible shape. Blood dyed his sleeve pink. His collar was burned through, and the skin beneath was blackened and inflamed. Let's see. Yeah, weren't. Well, take out the contractions as I'll leave it. It was all going according to plan, so it was all. If only he were not about to die. Yeah, so I think it works. That's like a deeper grammar point that I'm going to leave to an editor. I'm not completely sold on that sentence, but like again, we got 8 pages to get through, so we gotta. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not perfect, but the chapter's in decent shape. What we're looking for mainly here, as we're running through, we're looking for spaces where we can cut stuff. Honestly, because our chapter's heavy by about a page, so we want to make sure everything we do is doing work. Rigel was in terrible shape. Blood dyed his sleeve pink. His collar was burned through, and the skin beneath was black. So I'd love to make it, the skin is burned black, and the collar was singed through. There we go. His collar was singed, and the skin beneath was burned black. I like this a lot better. Rigel was in terrible shape. Blood dyed his sleeve pink. His collar was singed, and the skin beneath was burned black. Every step sent a shriek through his arm, but the dagger was too deep. He didn't dare pull it out. Cool. All he could do was put one foot in front of the other, fear before pain. He slid. Rigel shivered and slogged on until the wind spat. I don't like the wind stat. Rivel? That's, more like Dridge. I really have to rename this character. I really like both Rigel and Revel though, but it's so confusing for me and the reader. Yeah, I gotta do it. I should do it now too, so I don't just suffer throughout the entire book. I think Rigel's the one that's gonna change. I thought about just changing him to Liger or something like that, but I like I really like how Rigel works. At least it's not like Stephen King, where he has like 5 characters named Jack in the same story. Asshole. What a CS. Or as we call it in the writing community, cocksucker. Ravel. Or we could just name him Reveille. Is that what you're meaning to say? We can just call him Lee. Revel Lee. Revel Lee Ramos. Like he's General Lee. No, I think we'll know it when we hear it, like the right name. Honest to God, I think we're just gonna wind up sticking with this character. Like I think we will get through the entire story, and through weight of inertia and like having fixed it like 80 times, we're gonna stick with these 2 fucking characters. Ravelli. Revel shivered and slogged on until he stumbled into a familiar stench. Not even a hurricane could blow away the stink of Tinkerton. He'd staggered across the entire city. Okay, cool. Kind of like an interesting idea of somebody completely like blood-soaked, staggering for miles with like a dagger in his arm, just becoming increasingly like cold and desperate, and he's losing blood as this is going on here. How much blood, I'm not going to sit and calculate with like some Dungeons and Dragons chart, but a significant amount of blood. Wait, question. Oh, and Dark Roast is supposed to have the lowest acidity. And will also change the entire flavor profile. Indeed, it does. Not loving this Dark Roast. He staggered across half of Laz. Okay, so the city's named Laz. I think staggered across the entire city. Just it strains my credibility a little bit, given the amount of blood that he's losing, and the rain pouring down and so forth. I think if we say half of Laz, it works a little better. Now the real gauntlet began. I think this is too fucking hokey too. Oh shit, what's going on there again, Jira? Did you stay up all night, or did you get some shut eye at some point? Mm. Rigel fought for focus, but it would not come. Rigel fought for focus. He was missing too much blood. Oh, you're in a degenerate sleep cycle? It's hard to do, man. I wish I had good advice for you on how to sleep well, but I'm suffering just as you are. We'll never be free. Rigel fought for focus. He was missing too much blood. Yeah, that sounds a lot better than he was missing too much. Did I sleep well? Must not. I had 3.5 hours of sleep. I remember the last number I remember was 142, and then I woke up like way too early. Maybe I got 4 and some change. If I get more than 4 hours, I'm like, I'm all right. All right, I'm good to go. If it's like 3 hours, I'm like, I'm gonna try to sleep more, and then I just stay in a bed for like 2 hours, and like my mind is like wheeling with all the stuff that I want to do that day, and like that's gonna turn into doing a quarter of that stuff, then jacking off and playing video games. Um, I wonder what I would do if I ever had a day in my life where I like made a checklist and actually did a. Let me try like writing out a fucking checklist today. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna physically write a checklist. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna write it right now. God damn it. Let me write up this checklist because I've been meaning to do this for a little bit. There's shit I want to get done today. All right. Let's try to actually have some accountability in my life. Wait, how did I lose a channel of my... Oh, there we go. Yeah, these headphone extenders are not perfect, but they're what I got. All right, I got a checklist right here. Yeah, boy George in a... All right. All right, so what do I want to get done, and how important is it? All right, 1, I want to clean up all the clothes all over my room. They're just piled everywhere. All over. Okay, 2, I want to design new laser eye for triangle grid. So I've been meaning to do this like all week. I want to sit down and design a new type of template for like the wooden eyes. Oh, you applied for a job? Nice. What's the job, Jordan? No. So I want to fucking have it so that when I have a 12-inch sheet of wood, I cut it into 4 triangles, and it forms like 2 eyes. And then I want to fix my exhaust fans. And make it so pigeons can't get in them. Because I'm sick of chopping them up with my exhaust fans. They're a bitch to clean. And I think I have the chicken wire that I need for it. And then I want to test a new dichromic spray paint I have. And then I want to get Okay, so that's 5 fucking things that I could do right there. So I want to clean up all the clothes all over my room. Right, that's like 20 minutes, honestly. I want to design the new laser eye thing and test it out. That's barely about 45 minutes there. I want to fix my exhaust fans and pigeons, 20 minutes, maybe 30. I want to test out the dichromic spray paint. That's only like 2 minutes. I just need the fans to work there. And then I want to get all the junk out of my halls and stuff. So really, we're talking about like 2 hours of fucking work. Department store retail? Good luck with that, man. I would not hire you to work in a department store, buddy. I would maybe hire you like, I will tell you like one of the perennial things for guys that like to drink a lot on the job is dishwashing. If you know how to wash dishes, like there's always steady work for a fucking dishwasher. Que mas? I think somebody's gonna like look at you and they won't give you the department store job unless it's like maybe like a big department store like Old Navy or something like that. If you write on the form that you're American Indian, you might be able to get there because you could pass. I'm just trying to think of places that I think would fucking hire you. Well, you would really struggle to get work as like a landscaper. It'd be good for you, but I don't think you could do it. And also, like, department store retail is like very high stress. Yeah, man. Like, apply for some dishwashing jobs if you want my advice, Jordan. No, like it's hard work, but there's not a lot of stress to it. It's just you just have like a lot of fucking pots and pans you got to scrub, and the dishes keep coming, but you just wash the dishes, and you can get into a zen state. So I know some very severe alcoholics that are from time to time they can hold a dishwashing job for like 4 or 5 months, but it's a little dark. Is there something else I want to do today? Oh, and I want to fuck around with. Well, I don't need a thing to fuck around with guitar pedals. All right, and then let's put in practice drums. Okay. And then I wanted to work on something for the website. Yeah. Like, nobody gives a fuck if the dishwasher is, like, a little drunk, but if they're a lot drunk and they're fucking up the dishes, it's a problem. But, yeah, it's just, like, we want Jordan O to, like, have something. I mean, you could go the Dwayne route and, like, fill out fucking surveys the way that they do it. There's a lot of, like, data entry stuff where you can do it, like, over the thing, and most of it pays just about minimum wage, sad to say. But, yeah, it's, you got to climb your way up. You know what I mean? Rigel fought for focus. He'd lost too much blood. Surveys will get you $400 a month match, which is something. Yeah. I will tell you, like, if you can... Traffic management shit can play very well from some out... Oh, yeah. I mean, you could be... Yeah, filling out surveys on the internet. Like, that's what Dwayne does. You could get, like... There's a lot of shit like that. I think Stratum will put you onto it if you want to know. But you can start doing that and get money and just like make a rule where you don't use your survey money for drinking. Like put it in an account where you don't use that card to buy booze ever, which is what Dwayne should do. But I digress there. And then so there's that. If you can get set up as like a crossing guard, or usually those are pretty cushy jobs that old women give to each other. Like a crossing guard or a janitor type position you can do, like really and truly just I just see like a lot of I would pay rent. Yeah, like paying rent would take a lot of stress out of your life. Definitely start looking into like janitor, sanitation. I don't know how physically strong you are. I think being a garbage man would fucking kill you within 2 or 3 days flat. Um, no, you can't be. They won't let you be a security guard if you're a drunk. They really won't. You will just get shit canned. It's a waste of everybody's time. You have to go through like a fucking training to do it in a lot of states. It's a bad spot. Yeah, just trying to stay in the house. You can start working on those fucking surveys, which is something you can do completely blotto, see Dwayne, and just try to work up like a little stake of money to stay in the house, and start looking for, like there are a lot of. All right, I didn't mean to like have an intervention here, but if you want to be real, get involved in NA, like start going to the fucking meetings, and then the NA people will try to get you a job where you are like a janitor or whatever. Yeah, you're Jordan. No, you're a severe alcoholic. Just between you and me, and you should definitely be in AA or probably NA, and working with like a city councilor to try and get you a job where you have like the cushion of the city being like, I fucked up, I'm sorry, right? But we'll keep giving you this tax benefit if you keep hiring this guy, right? Because every city has programs to deal with degenerate alcoholics, and it's well past time to start tapping these resources, IMO, you know. So start thinking about it, man. Because yeah, you don't want to be homeless again. That shit did not go well for you. You were all beat up with like a black eye and looked terrible. And there are resources out there. And the thing is, like, as soon as you get kicked out of the house, you're going to start getting tangled up in the legal system, and you're going to wind up back in jail. And we're going to see you on one of these court streams out of wherever. Like, I'm trying to get my life back together. And if you proactively take the step and start going to AA and shit like that now, when you inevitably get picked up for something, you can say, hey, I'm in AA and I fucked up. Like here's my sponsors thing. I called them and they didn't answer and like blah, 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 blah. Just start making some excuses for yourself beforehand, and you'll be able to get some leniency from the shit that's coming. Or, it might work out. You might meet some washed up slut at NA, and then like the two of you could be codependent and get a job and start making it through this life. Like a lot of your anxiety that's driving you to like alcoholism and so forth has to do with feeling like a piece of shit because you don't have a job, and you don't have a job because of the anxiety. So you're caught in like that vice and so forth, and it's one where you kind of got to power through. And they're gender segregated now. Well, that's all right. There's some, like, I'm sure there's plenty of femboys there that you can get a piece of, or you could troon out yourself and like get assigned into the girl one. I'm not sure how offensive troon out is at this point. I mean, no offense. It just sounds funny to me. Anyhow, you could try that fucking thing, but he so needs to be in AA. It's not even funny. Like, he's not gonna make it on his own. His environment is no bueno. So yeah, I honestly, like, if I were like your homie, I would be giving you this whole shit. Beta blockers. They chad you up. So I could be doing that. And honest to God, man, if you could just find and stick to a job for like 3 months, like a summer job where you're working outside, whether it's digging ditch or laying electrical wire or working on a fucking, I mean, I know you're in New Mexico, so there's none of that, almost nothing to fucking do outside, sadly. When I was stuck in Albuquerque, I had to work at a cement mill, and it almost killed me. It was fucking hard. It's not a good job. But there's a lot, like in construction. Like if you want to paint houses, right? Painting houses will not kill you. Yeah, fuck it. Like, Jordan, you ought to think about learning how to paint. Like some of the work's going to be inside of houses. Yeah. Like, so check out what these guys are doing. And like at this point, you're so, I don't know if Jordan is still here because he hasn't said shit. It might just be like a bunch of us giving unsolicited advice to somebody who's heard all this before. But yeah, man. So definitely look into jobs, washing dishes, and really if you can try to get into some trade, right? There's something very satisfying about laying drywall, which I don't think you could do at the moment. But like painting houses, laying drywall, you would have to find somebody where they're not yelling at you all the fucking time because you're such an anxious wreck. But there are people in the trades who are very chill and who have like Christian charity and so forth. This is why I'm encouraging you to get hooked up with the church, right? Because those are people who have accepted that people are flawed and that they, they're going to have fuck ups and they're trying to help everybody out. Church, mosque, whatever. When you're that deep in a hole, you need to take help from where you can get it. So, and like, all of us are very serious about this shit because all of us have friends who have been in the spot that you're in, and those friends are fucking dead and in hell. They died, and they died bad, right? They died where nobody they knew would talk to them, and you're one of the people where, like, for the last couple of years, like, if somebody said, "Hey, Jordan O's fucking dead," I'd be like, "Ah, it sucks, man." Not like what happened to him. I would say that sucks. It's a fucking bummer, but I wouldn't question it at all. Like, so that's why I, man. You're not alone. People in LRH will try to help you out, however they can, but they can't do it for you. All right. It was funny because we're getting into some scenes of, there's a character in the story who's going to get introduced in like 2 or 3 chapters where he is a complete degenerate junkie. And it is a major plot point for him. His Yellow Hat the Bard. And he's like a charming individual who was once extremely famous and blew it all away to just smoke dope. And his character's kind of an interesting character. He gets into it because he's playing some equivalent of a guitar in this. We don't really get into it. But he's playing music, and his arthritis is so bad that he can't do it anymore. Like, the pain is stopping him from playing well. So he goes to some apothecary and is like, "Hey, help me out here." And they hook him up with, like, "Oh, this will take your pain away." And he just becomes a complete addict, and it ruins his life utterly. So, yeah, I'm always dubious of anybody who says that they can take your pain away. It's usually a woman. And she's usually exchanging it for a much larger pain later on. Oof. All right. Rigel fought for focus. He lost too much blood. Funnier. They're help edit a book of fantasy, instead get railed with the realest shit in this world. Well, I have to tell you, like, life is but a dream in any case. None of this has deeper meaning or whatever. It's all ephemeral, and it'll be gone tomorrow. And all that's really left is your enjoyment in the moment. So, it's not really that serious. Jordan O's going to make it or he's not. Like, I'm going to be a success or I'm not. All we can do is try. And it's not that important if you fail, because you're just going to try again. And it's not that important if you succeed, because once you get to the top of the hill, you're like, fuck, this wasn't even the hill. There's another hill over there. Let's climb that hill. Like, all the success that you have is meaningless. And all the failures just contribute to further successes. So it's going to be all right. Just don't quit the game too early if you can help it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've got plenty of dead chatters that, more than enough for a lifetime as is. Rigel fought for focus. He lost too much blood. Will I ever write an autobiography? I don't think anybody would give a shit. And I can't remember most of it, right? I would have to do research for my own fucking autobiography and talk to people that had known me for years. Like, hey, what was happening between the years of like 1992 and like 1999? Because for me, it's just, and that like advice I was just giving about living entirely in the moment. That's what I do every day. I very seldom think about things that happened in the past, and thus I don't learn from them, and I don't plan for the future, and thus I've been a substitute teacher forever. Um, I think so, Jason Bean. If I wrote an autobiography, I would fill it with lies, just tremendous lies. That would be. I think that's the fun part of autobiographies, just the lying. All right, I've been trying to do this paragraph for 30 minutes. Rigel fought for focus. Zach fought for focus. He lost too much blood. Teams of cutthroats lurked at the fringe, but I wonder if we need like an ordinarily there. If I tell you what, if I get successful with either LRH or books or something like that, I will write a short autobiography that is more about the characters that helped me get there than me. That will probably like try to just knock out 40,000 pages that say how we got from here to there and like the stupid shit that I did that I shouldn't have done. I think that could be useful. But and like plus, God, could you imagine the 3 chapters on relationships, like all the dirt that I've got up to? Fuck me. Oh, that'd be the most salacious shit. All right, Rigel fought for focus. He lost too much blood. Teams of cutthroats lurked at the fringe between Tinkerton. I think we say Tinkerton above. Teams of cutthroats lurked. So we got exactly back to where this paragraph began, by the way, at the end of all this. Hold on, let me make sure that that's not somebody I'm mortally offended. Nah, just some nerd. Okay. Some of the songs from last night are still running through my dome. I enjoyed the relaxed format. It was really just kind of a question. Can I like do a show without being like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And it turned out that we could, but it also wasn't that entertaining. So teams of cutthroats lurked at the fringe and picked off anyone stupid enough to. Oh yeah. It was super chill, and I liked it. Yeah. It was kind of an interesting point for me, where I had to try not to try, right? Because I'm so used to the like frantic like call every minute and cut off every song after like 2 seconds or whatever, and like a lot of my audience is just fucked up on drugs, and they just want to sit there and chill and not have something super aggro and crazy coming at them. But there were no laughs, like in, also there were no calls. So it was a weird night. But all right. Rigel fought for focus. Uh, I wonder if we need to put. Tinkerton was the last leg of Rigel's escape. I like last leg there, even though it's a little cliche, because it kind of fits into like he's slogging through this. Rigel fought for focus. He'd lost so much blood. Teams of cutthroats lurked at the fringe and picked off fools who blundered into the slump. Most nights, teams of cutthroats. Oh, yeah. Even the rats had it. All right, let's leave it there. I've just been fumbling with that for so long. Tinkerton was the last leg of... Mhm. Tinkerton was the last leg of Rigel's escape. No semblance of planning informed the sprawling shanty town. Rickety bridges crossed fetid canals. All right. Uh, all right. So this is one where we have a lot of adjectives here, and we're trying to say a lot in too short of a space. Tinkerton was the last leg of Rigel's escape. No semblance of planning informed the shanty town. I like that. I like the so-called streets there. Rickety bridges spanned fetid canals choked with refuse. The so-called streets were unpaved ruts of sucking sludge. Alleys ran at crazy angles and dead-ended where filth piled too high to ford. Tents and stalls clustered against every structure like barnacles. Tinkerton was a wretched place for awful people. Okay, so boom. I like that a little better. Tents and stalls clustered against every structure like barnacles. It was a wretched place for awful people. Eyes were all around, more on every block. Uh, okay, cool. Eyes were all around, more on every block. People lined the streets. Uh, okay, cool. Let's get rid of. Refugees is too much. Yeah. Every place in the world that's that wretched has a big reason to exist. Otherwise, everyone would just move elsewhere. Um, Curious to find out that reason here. We actually get into it in a little bit there. So everybody within Tinkerton is interconnected by an elaborate system of inherited debt. And there are significant enforcers that keep people in position there. The other part of it is that there is not a lot of mobility in this area, and there's significant raiding action and not a tremendous amount of arable land, and what is under relatively tight control there. And you do have like a lot of mobility that we'll talk about a little later. So yeah, it is like it's a degenerate slum, but we give a few of the reasons why we're not going. You know, it's not like obviously I haven't done like an ethnographic, like socio whatever blah 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 study or whatever, but there a few justifications do pop up later in the story as to why it's so wretched. Um, Squalls flattened the shantytown every year and scattered the tent people like a kicked anthill. In a few days, it would all spring back up like a recurring. All right, let's. We're really ham-fisting it with this chapter. I don't know why I said that this was good because this is straining my own credibility a lot. Eyes were all around, more on every block. People lined the streets. They had nowhere to go. Squalls flattened the shantytown yearly. Let's do semi-annually. Squalls flattened the shantytown semi-annually and scattered the tent people like a kicked anthill. In a few days, it would all spring back up, a recurring rash. Tonight, paupers perched under every awning and huddled between. Tonight, paupers perched under every awning and huddled beneath scraps of tarp and sailcloth. Families. Entire families were huddled beneath scraps of tarp and sailcloth. Rigel shied away from the clusters of unfortunates. Any of them might be hungry enough to knife him in the back. Annually has two ends? Does it really? A nolly. Yeah, you're right. I believe that we drove Jordan out with our hectoring, but had to be said. It's just, I don't think we had anything with any of them might be hungry enough to knife him in the back. It's just, I'm still here just applying for another job. Yeah, man, I can do it. I honestly think you could get a lot out of painting if you could try it. It'd take you a little bit. How bad do your hands shake? Yeah, like when I think about it, because that's like you don't need to be physically strong to paint. I don't want to paint you as like weak or whatever. You just need practice and dedication and willingness to go out and work, and you can make like a decent living as a painter, really and truly. Painting, plumbing, fucking, you could do roofing, but you would die. The safest pass was through Nestor's Tangle, a cluster of side streets that wove between the more dangerous blocks. The safest pass was through Nestor's Tangle, a cluster of side streets that wove through. Let's see. A cluster of side streets. The safest path was through Nestor's Tangle, a cluster of side streets that wove between the most dangerous blocks. Rigel turned the corner and ran into a group. Rigel turned the corner and found a group of hooded men in sodden red robes. Yeah, it works better this way. Rigel turned the corner and found a group of hooded men in sodden red robes. I don't like sodden red robes. Soak wet robes. Cool. In dripping red robes. Cultists. A dozen reds fanned beneath. Ooh, alright. Missing. Did we use Globenspind? Alright. Cultists. A dozen reds fanned before the mission. Missoon? A dozen reds fanned before the mission of the True Star and admired their handiwork. Hadriate's adherents hated the Glaubensfiend penny priests. Ooh. Oh, we can't do handy. That's. Glaubensfeind. Enemy of the faith.
Enemy of the faith. Enemy of the faith.
What? Fucking read Glaubensfeind. Glaubensfeinde.
Glaubensfeind.
Glaubensfeind. Oh, no, I like Glaubensfeind. It'll get cut in the final, but for now, just let me have my the Crimson adherents. Hadrian's crimson adherents hated the yellow Glaubensfeind, the one true star. They deface this temple every night. Every night the mission was defaced. A dozen Reds fanned before the mission of the true star and admired their bloody handiwork. Hadrian's crimson adherents hated the yellow Glaubensfeind of the one true star. The mission was defaced nightly. Each morning, a host of yellow acolytes issued from the gaudy golden building and scrubbed off the... Hand-flung dung. I like that it rhymes too, like fitting within the tenor of what's going on there. But I think it's not. I think it's not gonna make it into the cut. Let's see. Okay, and then Cultus has an unfortunate space before it. Hadrian's crimson adherents hated the yellow Glaubensfeind of the one true star. Every night they defaced the mission's facade. The penny priest refused to budge. Oh my god, and then we use orpiment? Alright, yeah, orpiment has got to go. If we're gonna use, we can use Glaubensfeind, but the price is getting rid of orpiment. Orpiment is actually like a cool color for this though. Here, so yeah, orpiment is this deep orange-yellow arsenic sulfide material. So it's actually like a really cool color. Let's pronounce it. I think it's orpiment. Orpiment.
Orpiment.
All right, so it's pa, not pe. Orpiment. Orpiment.
Orpiment.
Orpiment. Munt. It's cool, but it's a heavy word to throw in there. Tonight, the cultists raise the stakes. A woman's face. Oh yeah, so we already. Hadrian's crimson adherents hated the yellow globosphene of the one true star. Every night they profane the mission's gaudy facade. Gaudy facade. Okay, cool. The penny priest refused to budge. Each morning, a host of yellow acolytes issued from the Golden Gate and scrubbed off the night's accumulation of dung and graffiti. Tonight, the cultists raised the stakes. A woman's face defaced the temple walls in dripping lines of crimson. Emperor of Finland. Hi, how's writing going? Wait, are you the person that had me start reading the Kalevala? Or is this like a different Finn? Writing here, how many pages have we gotten done here? 17. We have been at this all morning and have edited 2.5 pages. I never get anything fucking done on Saturday mornings. Because I do a show late on Friday night. And then Saturday morning, I'm just running on fumes. And then we spent half the day trying to convince our friend who is a lousy drunk to get a job. Then, pretty sure that was a different Finn. Well, they changed their names, so it's worth axing. But I have a book about a Finnish family, by the way, that we edited on this very stream. It's called Gravid. But yeah, it's a different Finn. I can tell just by their chatting. Has been my nickname since 2018 or so. Okay. Well, is it meant to be like part of the meme that Finland doesn't exist, or are you actually Finnish? What's the word that Finnish people call each other? Do they call themselves Finns, or do they have like some internal word? If you have heard of someone called Tom of Finland, I have never heard of this. Finland has very little interaction with the United States in general. So little that, in fact, like they're Sami. How would you say it? Sami. Sami. All right, let's pronounce it. Sami. Okay.
Sami.
Sami. Oh, that's a good name. I can go with that.
Sami.
Sami. It sounds like something somebody would say to you as you were
Sami.
fucking them. Sami. Oh, sorry to... Sami. As I model myself after Roman emperors. Oh, wow. Aren't we autistic? Well, good luck with that. What are you writing on, Emperor of Finland? Is a bit of a role play like that? Yeah. All right. Tonight, the cultists raise the stakes. A woman's face defaced the temple walls in lines of crimson red. It wasn't paint. A priest in saffron robes dangled from a gable post, white as a ghost. Oh, like we can't get away with that internal rhyme. Yeah, Finland actually had a king. Who was I just read a book about the king of Sweden in 1632, the 30 Years' War. What was his fucking... I forget his name, but it's like this goofy historical fiction about like it's like a portal fantasy where a modern coal mining town is transported back in time to 1632, and the king of Sweden at the time, who I believe, got involved in like the whole conflict there. He's like their stand-in for whatever king. He was like a real religious dude, and he went and invaded Prussia. Mini rant yesterday where that people question why I mentioned about X since it does not make sense to them. That would be not be important to the story. This person is very Finnish. Suomenama. When it's part of the culture of the country, for example. Yeah. I will tell you that in my personal experience, it must be so difficult to diagnose people from Finland with autism because their default reads to me as like deep into the spectrum. Like I know a lot of Finnish people; they're great people, but really, it is just like every time I hang out with those people, like they could have been pulled from the pages of any Linux user group. I swear to God, something is happening. Maybe it's the Lats. Maybe they're the progenitors of all autism in the world. But something is going on there. Like you can't mention that a character goes to Finns drink most coffee on the world on a slice of knife novel. Actually showing normal boring like who was it? A friend of mine just read that fucking. Well, I guess it's Norwegian, right? Like all your countries are the same to us. I think the My Struggle guy, Ostergaard or whatever it was, OG Clary, I think is his name. He was he Norwegian or Swedish or Swedish or Finnish or whatever there. Oh Lord. So Emperor of Finland is still fighting a battle from a chat that none of us took part in, where none of us have any context whatsoever, but the war is still raging in their mind. Right? It is a battle that they have lost, and yet the war rages on. Oh Lord. Oh, that was rough, dude. There we go. I mean, if it was not important, I would not tell about it. It is a critique that if I write something as a writer, why have people what I write that is not important? What? Okay. So let me. This is fascinating to me. So you had a scene where a character went up to get coffee, right? And somebody criticized you, saying that it was irrelevant for people to get coffee. And then you feel upset because you feel like the novel is already boring, so what does it matter if there is a small detail in there, like getting coffee? So probably anytime that somebody tells you that something is boring, if you have to question their motives, like are they just a boring person? Because most the people that are most bored are the most boring people, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Like the criticism of something being boring is a tough one because they're always right. Like everything is a little bit boring, right? Everything is a little bit monotonous, and every art form really relies on people opting in. It's like, yeah, I'm going to read through the first 50 shitty pages of your novel because later on it's going to get into like the hero wish fulfillment that I want. Or we'll have like, there'll be a dragon, and I like reading about dragons. So everything is a little bit of a slog. Like getting into even a song. It's like, 2 bars, 2 bars, 2 bars. Like, all right, yeah, is there going to be a filter sweep at some point? Is a synthesizer going to come in? Are you going to drop the bait? Everything has some element of boredom in it. It tells about ordinary life without cutting out the boring parts. Since the setting is dull and boring, if the question... writer questions that I don't know how they will survive with me describing the dull and crude Soviet architecture. So you're writing a book that's intentionally boring, and you're upset that people find it boring? Is that what's going on there? I would question why write a book that you think is boring. You know, like, and like, probably, I don't know, think about their criticism and be like, how much of this shit do I really need to have in here? Because almost everything can be cut. You know, very few people have the power to write something essentialist. Setting is boring since it's boring, but about all the things that happen in the novel. Hold on, let me just ask you: what if your setting were not boring, right? Because like a concrete wall can just be like, oh, there was a concrete wall. It was featureless or whatever. Or a concrete wall can be like cracked and grungy, and there could be like cum stains all along the bottom of it, and the character is like looking at the used up condom like, what the fuck happened here? Who got railed against this wall? And well, it doesn't necessarily look like shit. Yeah, your own attitude about your work will show and make other people agree with you. Yeah, I tremble at the thought of trying to read Emperor of Finland's thing. Although they have been good at like imposing themselves on the chat and making us pay attention to them, which speaks well for like their potential as a writer. Because now we're all like caught up in their little drama. So he had his inciting incident, like somebody wronged me, and then he had like a little development on it, like I'm right and they're wrong, and then all of us feel compelled or trolled, as some might say, to correct them because they're coming from a place that's inherently wrong. What is the Dovka Jugla? Hold on, I'm gonna look at this off stream in case it's like a Finnish thing for a huge cock or something. Dovka Jugla. I see, it looks like a fucking vodka. This is a fancy house on the novels world. It doesn't pop up when I search for it. It's a hostel in Latvia. Dovgoriga. Alright, I'm not... I can't click your fucking link from where I'm at. I'll just take your word for it. That is boring. Well, I have to tell you that I am, as we speak, writing a novel that is no way boring, where it has a compelling... Even the part... Like, if you look at this chapter right here, all of the architecture is meant to be, like, shitty and slammed together and garbage, but it's not boring to me. Like I think it's cool. Like I'm inspired by stories like Lankmar and even like some Forgotten Realms nonsense and like fantasy cities that are like just miserable slums and so forth are cool and compelling. Because I like slums. I live in a slum. I've always been in slums. I like that these priests are defacing this dude. Hadrian's adherents had strung him up, slit his throat, and drained him. Rigel turned around in a hurry. I want to call it like a macabre mural. All right, hold on. I think I can click on his thing off stream. It's like a house. Yeah, what's the problem with it? It's probably a nice place to live. To tell you, look, they got balconies. They got a roof that they can get on. This is like some graffiti here. I don't see the problem with this house that you like. It's just a square house, you know. Like I'd be happy to have a fucking roof over my head. I don't get it. I don't get it. We can't see eye to eye here. Like, what are people supposed to have? He's depressingly looking. I don't, you know, like the depression that you feel there is entirely up to you. Like some person could look at that like concrete block and be like, oh, life is such a struggle. Another person could look at that concrete block and be like, hey, a lot of the women here are poor and will sleep with me for money, you know, or, like I could sell a lot of drugs to these people because their life sucks, you know, like you just have to look at the positive side. So Bradius, I really want to call it a macabre mural, but I'm not doing it. Just for you. Just for you. Because I don't even want you to say it. Wait, what? Let me see. Wait, what? Did I lose one of your chats there? Let's see. Oh my god, that's so much better than... Alright, there we go. You know, for a long period of time, people used to live in houses made out of actual shit. They still do it in Africa. They live in houses made of cow dung. So, yeah. I'm not doing it, Jared, but I wanted to. I wanted to. It's only you people keeping me fucking honest here. There we go. Okay, cool. But yeah, it's the readers don't understand that the setting is boring since it's totalitarian. Well, I mean, keep in mind, like, your job is that the readers understand what you want to, right? Like, if the reader doesn't understand what you're saying, it's your fucking fault. You know, like, what the reader takes away from it is half their contribution, but like half your contribution as you're writing it. So if you want the readers to understand that the setting is totalitarian, I mean, just look at, you know, I would say like Kundera was really, really good at this. He did an excellent job of painting Prague as just like a fucking Kafkaesque hellscape. Even if like about half the book was about somebody taking a shit while they were fucking. Yeah, the book is The Unbearable Lightness of Boning. I highly encourage you to take it. R.I.P. to Kundera, by the way. I think he passed on not too long ago there. He was a real one. Very depressing shit. But like depressing in a way where you want to read it, right? Because he's a master of being moody. I'm telling you, man, these checks know what they're about. To explain it would be a half book full of info dumps to the readers, especially since Americans don't know anything about the Eastern Bloc. I mean, what is there to know? You know, fucking Slavs, goats, corruption, suffering, vodka, Adidas. You know, like we get it. We know everything. There's much more to it. I'm sure there is. But can you convince people that they want to pay attention to it? That's the struggle. Who was it? I remember being in fucking Prague, and Alphonse Mucha. Like I went to the Mucha Museum, and he had like this whole thing to like glorify the Slavs and like a pan-Slavic movement that they were trying to get going on. They were really trying to get everybody together. But a Slav's worst enemy is another Slav. Really, they hate each other so much. You know, like New Yorkers and Jerseyites, we don't get along, but it's not like we're burning each other's villages and so forth. We're just stealing each other's drugs. But I digress. What am I getting distracted for? I got a book to write. Let me see here. You'd have to cross Squid Square. Even in daylight. What do we got here? Oh, shout outs to Evac Donna, now following the channel. I don't know what you're getting out of this back and forth. It's like while you are struggling to finish a page, rest assured I am over here trying to untangle this crappy program I wrote. The struggle is real. I honestly, like, I think I draw a lot of strength from the others in the chat who are just as desperate to get something done as I am. All right, what was I trying to... I want another word for square. Junction is good. Let's try square. Person who is old-fashioned. Municipal park. This is what we want. Oh my god, I could say the plaza was a perilous place. That's awful. Squid Square is too over the top. It breaks me out of the. Yeah, I don't like the possessive on it either. Um, let's see. I'm with you. I don't like Squid Square because it's like SS. All right. Well, let's try to think of. Wait, how long have we been at this? Right? Is this a spot where we need to accept defeat? No, we've only been at this since about 7 a.m. I guess. Let's power through to like 9 a.m. and see what we can get done. Yeah, I'm with you on it not working. And we don't want it to be like gutter row or dead end word square or whatever. People don't like me going into extreme detail. I mean, is this novel even fucking done? Is it already written? Is this like a criticism on the Amazon profile of it? Like, what state is this novel in? If it's not finished, what are people looking at it for? You know? Is it 2025 release? Jesus, even I don't have books that I'm going to release in 2025. I have books that are 800 pages long, and they're coming out in 24. It's 60% done? Well, have you published a novel before? Like, why is anybody looking at your novel before it's done? Okay, well, this is what the problem is. You don't show people a novel before it's written. You know, you don't ever do that. It fucks up the entire process. You don't live stream the publication of a novel before you. So to like actually finish a book that is any good, you have to first write the novel in secret with nobody knowing about it. You don't tell your friends about it. You don't do whatever. Then you edit your rough draft, and then you start showing it to people and working on it, right? Having anybody involved in the process of a creative work is like the worst possible mistake that you could make, right? It just doesn't fucking work. I've tried to do it on the stream. It doesn't work. Just anyone else being involved in the writing of a novel will just tank it. And like, see how you're frustrated right now? You're like, man, what do they know about what I'm trying to do? They shouldn't be involved. Nobody should see this. It's like, like the writing of the novel is like shaving your balls before you go on a date, right? You don't want an audience there. It's like the shaved balls are going to be spectacular when you're on the date, and the other dude is like, ooh, they're so smooth. SQ is tolerable to me. Yeah. Did you actually love Three Wolf? Holy shit. So a guy is editing Three Wolf right now, Brongulus, and I'm terrified to see what he cuts out of it. Because he really is like a no-nonsense pulp fiction editor. And he's I think I gave him 16,000 words, and I think he's going to come back with like 6,000 words and be like, I fixed it. And he'll probably be fucking right. But I loved all the bullshit in Three Wolf. But, oh yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on how dumb that sounds. So anyhow, Emperor of Finland, I have a helpful thing that says how to finish a book, and I can do this because I have finished 8 novels at this point. So I know how to finish a fucking book, and I know that you are headed for disaster with your 2025 release. If you didn't have other people fucking around, you could finish your book this year. I can finish this book. That critique does not stop me writing. So. It does is the thing. Like you're not impervious to critique. You're not impervious to people kind of putting their 2 cents in because you're thinking about it right now. You're thinking about it so much that you're in somebody else's stream, somebody who's trying to get some fucking work done, and complaining about it because the words are like sunk deep into you and you can't get past them because writing is an act of an ego, and when you're doing stuff, your ego is triggered by it. Right? You're like, how could they not understand what I'm doing? You're fighting this war with yourself. And really, the whole process should just be you finishing the book because a half-done book is worse than worthless. It really is an obligation that you're putting on other people to pay attention to you, where you haven't done the critical part of it yet. So that shit has to get done. Before anybody is seeing your book, it should be finished. It's just common courtesy to the other people. It should be finished and it should be edited. I don't put anything on this stream that I have not finished and then edited at least once. I've edited this book like 6 or 7 times, right? And maybe even if you're a lot better than me, I know that this shit is 100% right. Like, you have to finish a thing before you start circulating it out with other people. It's like, think about a song that somebody had figured out like half the notes to, and the rest of it is just them strumming like their dick. It doesn't work. You know, these are works that are not good in progress, right? They're good when they're done. When somebody has put, and you know, half the work of a novel is the polish at the end of it, right? What we're doing right here, like fixing it, going through the text and so forth. So it's just, this is a mistake that I see a lot of people who are young in the game making, where they get other people involved. Because what happens is they don't have the stamina to finish the book. They start running out of ideas halfway through, and like the shine of their initial idea starts wearing off. I need feedback along the way from sources other than AI to involve the writing. No, you do not. The feedback is poison, right? Like, the writing is already bad, and it's going to be bad when you're done with it. The spot where you improve a book is after it's written, when you do the edit and you do the rewrite, right? You have to complete the book before you do it. It's worthless to edit something that's half done. It's worthless to show other people something that's half done. I cannot stress this enough. You are fucking up in what you're doing right now, and you will suffer for it. Really, you will. It sounds to me like this is your first novel, and you will suffer immensely throughout the procedure. And at the end of it, you will have something that is unpublishable and no good, because it's an amalgamation of stuff other people did, right? And like, I see so many red flags in what you're doing right here. And if you talk to other people who have been writing for a long time about their experience, if they are your friend, they will tell you the same fucking thing, that you're fucking up and that you ought to just finish your novel and stop fooling around and stop worrying about what other people think. Because at the end of the day, your first novel is going to be for you only. It's going to be a book that's just for you, and very few people will want to read it, if I'm being honest, because like learning to write something that other people like takes a decade. You know, it really does take forever to learn how to write where other people want to pay attention to it. And I'm no expert myself, you know, but I know this much. Anyhow, yeah, get out of here and go work on your novel, and don't fuck around with AI either. That's terrible. It just now is not at all the time for AI to be involved in whatever you're doing. Something that AI is going to be doing in like 5 or 6 years anyway. So if you want to get good at it, don't use a crutch. Fuck, that makes me so mad. He really is a good troll. I hope that dude is just trolling and they came here explicitly to make me mad, because I actually feel like a little bit of whatever. I can't even begin to understand the mind of an author. Yeah, it's just pure egotism, like thinking that you have something important to say and that other people will pay attention to you. It's like, oh, aren't I cool? I can come up with something, you know? All right, so we need to come up with a new name for the square. Hold on, let's go. Oh, let's start fucking, what is it in Romanian? Often when I'm trying to think of a name for something fantasy-wise, I'll try to get some cognates in there. Let's do... Sometimes they'll have a, oh, that's no good. Dead Dog Square. They can't be the same. How am I fucking this up? Let's try German. Tudor Hundeplatz. Let's try, how about the Lithuanians? Nevgo Suns, that's too much. Cachorro morto. Dewey Hund Plaza. Oh, I like it. How would the Thai say it? Flassa. No. How would the Estonians? Surun Koravalik. All right. Let's try. How would the Finns say this? Finnish.
Kuolleen koiran aukio.
Oh, I kind of like Koiran. Um. All right, let's try Dead Dog Ditch. I like that. It sounds kind of like Ding Dong Ditch. How do the Irish say this? Oh, you can't. Duog Madra Marb. Oh my god. You can always. Wow, what the fuck are the Basque all about here? Zakur, Hidako, Lubick. Wow, what the fuck? Basque is so crazy. Then Catalan.
Fossa de Gossos Morts.
Oof, that's crazy.
Fossé du chien mort.
Fossé du chien mort. I like it. Let's say Haitian Creole. Fostien Muri. I don't know what the Russians said.
Канава мертвой собаки.
Huh. Muito suave. Yeah, the Basque language is so crazy. They're really trying to figure out like what UFO landed there that fucked these people up so badly. It's strange. It's mighty strange. You look and half your life has changed. Keka. All right, how's Romanian?
Chant de câine mort.
Okay, I should be able to speak it perfectly, but I'm lazy. Let's try Uyghur. Oh yeah, no fucking clue what's going on there. Are those? They're Arabic. No, they're Persian letters. It's weird. And then Urdu.
Murda kuteki khai.
Yeah. So Sanskrit's doing nothing for me here. Let's try Welsh. I like that Google Translate doesn't even try to translate this. Fossimare. I kind of like Dead Dog Ditch. Let's just go with that for right now. Okay, cool. Yeah, what is it? So Basque and Finnish are both a little similar there in that they have some stuff going on that doesn't make sense contextually, like in terms of like the linguistic anthropology of the region there. I don't think that Emperor of Finland will soon return to our stream, but I felt it was necessary to be a cunt to that person because they really are fucking up. They'll just suffer for like 5 or 6 years, and then somebody will level with them, and they still won't be able to accept what they say. Just the story that they were talking about did not sound compelling to me. But I know that I was like at least that insufferable and probably worse. There, yeah, you can tell that like I can see in the stuff that they're doing mistakes that I have made and like shitty character traits that I have too. You can just see. It's really just like I was yelling at myself. But fuck that guy, because his book is shit, and he's fucking up. He's about to waste like 5 years of his life, and everybody he encounters will have to deal with his bullshit. So, I mean, you can either learn it now or you can learn it later, you know. Yeah, I do like Dead Dog Ditch. Even in daylight, the dumping ground was a dangerous place. Clusters of refugees lined the periphery. Basque, Finnish, Estonian, and I didn't know that. I knew Hungarian was weird, and like you can see, but I didn't know that Estonian was also up there. I think we pulled Estonian when we were looking for Dead Dog Ditch. I more and more Dead Dog Ditch is just fun to say. I like rag pickers too. Refugees and rag pickers lined the periphery. Across the way, a watchtower loomed in the blackened bone. I'd love it if we had like a name that started with B. Oh yeah. Across the way, a watchtower rose from the blackened bones of a burned-out bakery. Would they really have a bakery in Tinkerton? Rigel cheated closer to the rabble to stay out of range. The bowmen in the tower sometimes shot people for sport. The fastest way home to have... Oh, we got Noido up in here. Hey, Noido. What's going on there, buddy? Wait, who do I know Noido? Or is this just somebody staggering in off of the street there? Yeah, we've had an eventful day on the stream. We've chastised 2 people when really I should have been chastising myself, and we've gotten through like 3 pages, and we're struggling to finish. The bowmen in the tower sometimes. A random just came across your channel. Okay, well, welcome. Yeah, so what I do here every morning while we have something to edit is we're editing this fantasy novel. This is a big one, to tell you the truth. And I plan to... Yes, you were chastised, Jordan. But it was out of a place of love, whereas the other one was out of a place of disgust and contempt. Okay, so you can see that this is a long-ass story. This is a fantasy novel about a dungeon crawl. And we are editing at page 17 of 988. And when we get to about page 200, we are going to send this off to a real editor, and then later this year we'll serialize it on Royal Road. And we'll see how that goes for me. But yeah, I've been writing novels for like a long time, and I'm okay at it, I guess. But they don't sell well, so I'm not that okay at it. But I do like doing this on YouTube because editing is boring to me on my own. I like having some people around to distract me. Holy smokes, that's a lot. This is not even that long in comparison. Yeah, I write a lot of books, to tell you the truth. I don't know why I do all this. I've been doing it so long that it's like no longer a choice. Like if I wake up in the morning and don't work on a book, I feel like dog shit for the rest of the day. So yeah, keep that in mind if you ever want to write stuff. I got tired of unfucking my program and am now trying creative writing prompts. Oh, it's cool. Yeah, man, Jira, you just try to write like a short story of like 1,500 words, man. You can get it out. Yeah, just shoot for like 1,500 words, and then once you do like 2 or 3 that you like there, try to do 3,000 words, and then like once you get to stories that are like 5,000 or 6,000 words, stop there because those are what you can actually sell to magazines. So you just work your way up from like flash to very short stories to just short stories, and then Just keep writing those until you have enough for a collection. Then after that, you're ready to like do a novel. Like it's a very, very like straightforward, this progression. Oh, that's what I should have done instead of writing like like a 240,000 word thing I couldn't sell. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Even in daylight, the dumping ground was a dangerous place. Refugees and rag pickers lined the periphery. Across the way, a watchtower rose from the blackened bones of a burned-out bakery. Rigel cheated closer to the rabble to stay out of arrow range. The bowmen in the tower sometimes... I'm going to do stragglers. They're not people, they're stragglers. I don't think I could be creative enough to write a story, maybe a short one, but nothing close to what you're doing. Um, I mean, you're less creative than you would think. I will tell you, like, the practice of writing like a long novel like this involves like a lot of your resting time. You just like thinking about scenarios. Like when you're closing your eyes and going to bed, like people who are doing this kind of thing, they're like thinking about like, oh, what if this happened and what if that happened, and just like the time that you spend like daydreaming about women, like some of that time, just turn it into daydreaming about scenarios and stories, and then maybe your stories will get you women. It did work for me, like at least twice. So I think all the women who have like hung around for a little bit, it was like they read something that I liked or that I wrote, and they were like, "All right, this guy might be okay," and then they find out that's not the case. But definitely, this I'm only doing this to get women, or I was when I was younger. But yeah, like everybody has a kind of creativity in them and like a unique voice that they could do something with if they wanted to. But writing takes like a really long time to get good at, and it is something that AI is almost immediately going to take over. Like all this shit is going to be run by robots in the near future. So if your talents lie elsewhere, what I always tell the people is like the thing that you have the most fun doing when you're doing it. If you can get past the like being afraid that you're bad at it, that's the thing that to pursue. Like if you're just having like a really good time strumming on a guitar, you don't have to worry about anything else. Like if you're having a great time coding a program to attack Bank of America and defraud thousands of people, just do that, You just pick the thing where when you're doing it you feel the most joy, and just make that your number one focus. And like the things that you're not, find out what you don't do well, don't do it. I love that. Let me see there. Sometimes the bowmen shot stragglers for sport. The shortest path back to the Half King Tavern was up Tick Street, but it was too close to the tower. Rigel edged forward and squinted up at the arrow slits. He could not tell. He couldn't tell if anyone was inside. Ooh. No, I don't. I don't like the pain. That's not good. That's not good at all. Um, I will tell you also, Noido, if you are still with us, that really it's not the writing that is the difficult part of writing. Like just putting stuff on paper is it's just you just need to learn to relax and let it flow. Like everybody can be a conduit for some kind of creative energy if they just learn to like chill and just let things flow. It is the editing that is brutal. Like this is the hard part. This is fucking murder. Like writing is fun. Editing is suffering. But and eventually you just become a masochist and enjoy the suffering. Uh, mhm. How many times do I go over everything usually before I am happy to send it away? Um, it really depends on the length of the work and how bad it is when I get done with it and so forth. So this particular story, I started it about 10 years ago, and I was much worse at writing then. So we've probably been over this story, I think it's been completely rewritten 2 or 3 times at this point. I think, I know that I am on the at least third rewrite of this first book of it that I know for sure. So I think it's been rewritten a bunch of times. This is too many times to rewrite a story, right? I should have just given up on this and moved to another thing, but I like the story, and I think it has legs, and I enjoy the process of rewriting. It's not a good idea to go over things this many times, but I've put 10 years into it, so I want to get something done with it at the end of it. I think I have the tools to make it a good story. I just have to work hard on it. Zeros, which I don't see a copy of Zeros floating around here. All right, here, let's go. So this one that I have here, which is so this is Zeros by I purchased a paperback of this. This is where I bought like 50 of these myself. So Zeros was my most recent book. It's now at 3.9 on Goodreads. Oh, I got to work on that. Yeah, if you read this book and like it, give me a review. 'Cause I want to be in the 4 or 5 range if I can. So this one was one that I wrote the full. That novel is about 60,000 words, maybe like 50,000 words, which is how long science fiction novels used to be. They used to be shorter. So I wrote that one in about 6 months, and then I spent about 1 month editing it on stream, and then 1 month working with a professional editor, and about 1 month typesetting it. So we put this out in like about a year, and it was good enough for me. Like at the start, it really was like taking a very clean shit. Like I had the idea, I couldn't get it out of my head. I started working on it. And then I actually stopped working on this for a little bit to work on RAPAXORIS and to finish another book. And then this one progressed really well, and I'm very happy with how it came out. Yeah, it's dope. So that's a story about a suicide mission into the sun. Shoutouts to this character right here, who I sent a couple of copies of the book to. What's up, Nod Dan? El Haxor. This book legitimately got me reading fiction books again. Zach will draw you into his world quickly. I think with this, yeah, man, just listen to it on Spotify, Jordan. There's a lot that you can relate into there. The main character will have some things you can identify with. He really is happy because he's on a lot of OxyContin at that point. Yeah, he just shattered the shit out of his leg in a car crash. So we got some good reviews. There's maybe that's Kakam. No, that one's Milkness, FX Merce, Stratton. I forget who Kurt is there. Engaging Conflicts. So this one came out really well. I'm proud of it. It's like the most sort of modern and quick thing that I've done. It really had like a lot to do with like how I think you correctly write a book. You just get through it. Like I wrote the entire thing before I showed it to anybody or told anybody about it. We just knocked that one out, right? It was easy. But often you get caught in like rewrite hell and so forth, which like Rapazoris really is. It's a more difficult prospect because we're trying to write like a much longer novel. We're trying to be like pretty close to like an epic fantasy novel, and instead of like a linear plot progression, you have so many more characters, and it was just unclear at the time what each of their motivations were and so forth. And so this rewrite is just trying to shore that up. And then after this, I'm going to write something else that is short and direct, that is just like a novel, one and done. So that's how I like to do it. All right, what do we got here? Who dares summon me? It's always message requests. Oh shit! Alyosha found Kakama with the leather patch. LOL. So DEF CON is going on right now, and Alyosha just happened upon Kakama at DEF CON. That's cool. I like that a lot. That's so dope. For once, I'm glad I clicked on one of these things here. All right, and then somebody is messaging me from Hacker Rehab. I'm so distracted. All right, and then who? Staff with mod team. No, I don't ever moderate on that server. All right, well, I hope that answers your question, random dude. But yeah, it's, honestly, like writing is fucking amazing. It's been the joy of my life for at least the last decade. Mm-hmm. Gave you a sub. I enjoy content. Okay, yeah. Well, we will be every day. I will be blundering through. Well, I will tell you this, Jordan. No, like if you pick something that you want to do, and then you just decide like this is what I want to do with my life, and then you dedicate yourself to that, even if you fucking suck. You could suck dicks all day at the thing that you really want to do, as long as you're trying and making some progress on it every day, then life has meaning, right? And like the people who feel like their life doesn't have any meaning, it's because they are scared to chase after that one thing that they know they want it. Like everybody knows what they really want. They're just scared to chase after it because they know it's gonna be hard. They're gonna suck a lot and they're gonna fail tremendously, and that's the price that you got to pay. But at the end of it, like once you put in your 10 years, then you have something for the rest of your life where you can keep working on it, and the joy will come and go and so forth, but it never goes away until you're too old to do it anymore. And then there's always the rope. So yeah, I want to have like an onomatopoeia or something, or gadoosh or boom. Ah. There we go. I tried some creative writing prompts. Wasn't feeling it. So now I'm writing about Mario and Luigi having a forbidden affair. Oh man, like the first like 10 years of my writing, and still today, was just shit posting. Yeah, man, that's all we got to do. Have a good time. It doesn't have to be fucking serious. Like trying to be good is a mistake. Trying to have fun is always right. There we go. Oh, Luigi, we can't do this. Oh, Mario, but we must. Your mustache, she's a tickler my balls. Get me the penis pumper. Oh shit, shit writes itself. No, Yoshi, let that go. Oh, fuck. Oh, Christ. Now they got that new wizard. They got that new hat that turns Bowser into a fucking princess, and then like all the Toadettes tag teamer. Shit, man. Ugh, there's no escaping the degeneration. It's cyclic, and it's not going anywhere. Ow, my asshole. Oh, yeah, I shouldn't be allowed to be alive. Going man to man with a piranha plant. Fuck. Rigel was blinded by a brilliant. Wait, is it 9 o'clock? I should have stopped this long ago. Wait, how many pages of this do we have? Oh yeah, we got like 10 more pages. Let's stop here because I'm useless. All right, so here is where we want to stop. All right, thank you to everybody who joined in on this. I don't expect to get a lot done on Saturday morning, but I do expect to try. And you should be trying too. Get yourself a job, Jordan. Figure out what you want to do with your life. You know, don't let these fucking boos drag you down. Now let's see what a sounder you make. Hey Mario, why you no use the penis a pumper no more? It's because when I fuck your wife, she's a squeezing me too tight. Oh Lord. All right, thanks for tuning in. Jesus Christ. All right, I made a checklist of stuff I want to do today, and now I am regretting it immensely, and I just want to play video games. Why did I do